Greetings, Earthling. My name's Dan, and I'm here to share an idea. It's an idea that's been bubbling up for the last couple of months, and it's time to let it out. Mainly because we're now living in a climate emergency, as declared by the UK government, because I'm from the UK, I think maybe even just over a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And so when we're living in a state of emergency, I feel there's a sort of a sense of urgency that's required. And I feel sort of that this kind of context requires stepping up into new behaviours and doing things maybe that I wouldn't usually be doing in my usual day-to-day life. I'm not really a kind of video guy, so this is sort of, doing this kind of video messaging stuff is not really what I do. I'm more of an audio man. So what's this all about? Well, we're living in a climate emergency. You might have noticed that there's stuff going on. You might have noticed that there's people on the streets. There's children on the streets striking about climate and taking time out of school. There's the Extinction Rebellion that are kind of causing all kinds of sort of creative mischief to help us all understand the kind of severity of what's coming our way and the need to actually wake up to it all. So there's a lot going on. And what I'm hearing in the last couple of months, being out on the streets and with my peers and my friends and my networks and my clients, is a lot of people are saying, what can I do? I don't know what to do. I want to do something. You hear a lot of conversations. We're waiting for government to shift all these policies and decarbonise and shift to kind of clean energy and drop all the kind of subsidies on fossil fuels and all this great stuff, which definitely needs to happen. But the point is, this stuff takes time. Governments are really slow and this stuff takes time. And so we need to keep on pushing for that stuff. But we can start today. We can do things. So this idea is all about what we can do now. Right. So let's have some context. What is this idea? Well, this idea is based on the Fridays for Future idea. But it's Fridays for Future for everyone, for all of us. So Fridays for Future, if you don't know, is an extraordinary movement kick-started by the amazing Greta Thunberg last year, and that's been slowly building across cities, across all countries around the world. Young people are coming out of their classrooms, striking from school, getting out onto the streets, and making their voices be heard about their complete dissatisfaction with the total lack of meaningful change from our political leaders on climate action and ecological breakdown, which is all happening right now. Okay, science is there, we know it's happening, why aren't we doing anything about it? So Fridays for Future was an idea started by Greta herself and has spread. Thousands of children and thousands of young people have stepped up and are growing this movement. So Fridays for Future, a day of demonstrating for change and action on climate change. Okay. That's good, that's awesome, that's going on. What if we could all step up on a Friday and do something? Okay, so this is what it's all about. Well, next Friday is the 24th of May, I think. In the UK, that's a strike day for students. But what about that day if everyone decided to do something? What if Fridays became the day where we decided to take action on behalf of the planet and all life? What if that was the day where we said, that's the innovation day for the change we want to see? So simply, what does that mean? Okay, here's a list of ideas, which I've written about below, but here's a list of ideas. These are starters for 10. This is not a comprehensive prescriptive list, but these are things that you could do immediately next Friday, and then maybe every Friday after that. Okay, so if you're a parent or a grandparent and you're really curious about all this stuff and you're hearing your children talk about it or your grandchildren, go out on the street, go on a march with them. Celebrate life, express your fear and sadness for what's going on, sing, dance, talk to others, listen to young people. Do that at least once. I would highly recommend it. Get into the spirit of change and possibility. That's the first thing you can do. Anyone can do that. If you're in business, which many of us are, or we work for businesses, or we work for organisations, there's a ton of things you could do immediately. If you're a business owner or you're a leader, you can make anything happen because you're the boss. So if you're feeling this, if you're thinking, I really want to do something, I'm not sure I'm ready to glue myself to the street, but I want to do something, then there's a lot you could do on Fridays, okay? Invite people in to talk to you and your teams and your staff about this stuff, who can come in and share what's really going on, who can help you all learn your way into this, who can stimulate more conversations inside your organisations and make it healthy and normal to have and acceptable to have these conversations and to challenge business as usual, right? So that's the first thing you do. Invite people in. Loads of amazing people out there that can come and talk to you about this stuff. Become a climate curious business or organisation. Or challenge your teams, challenge your staff to look at what you do on a Friday, to look at your business and think, right now, we're quite toxic, our business. We extract a lot of resources. We create a lot of waste. We're quite polluting. Our business model is actually not that great in the long term. Challenge people on that day. Challenge your teams to work exclusively on thinking, how do we become regenerative? How do we become less harmful? How do we become resilient for the future that's coming? How might we evolve to something that's actually a better way of doing things? Give permission to your teams and your staff to go out on a Friday and do something. Support community projects or support environmental projects around you. Collaborate and learn with the people who are on the front line of these issues. If you have like specialized skills and talent in your organization or your business, let them loose. Encourage them to look at the big, gnarly societal problems that we're going to have to face, from transport to energy to food to health to all this kind of stuff that we're going to have to reinvent. You know, if you've got engineers or technologists or designers or scientists, give them permission to look on a Friday at these bigger issues. There's all kinds of projects going on in the world that need help. You know, encourage them to start to get involved in this shift to a different way of thinking about life, beyond this industrialized idea to a cleaner, regenerative way of living and operating. If you work in sort of creative businesses or media or communications, why don't you challenge yourselves and your teams to use these kind of creative Jedi skills that you have, this amazing ability to persuade people to think differently and do differently? Why don't you spend Fridays on applying that skills to changing the story in our culture, to breaking down the myth that industrial growth, economic, unlimited growth is the peak of humanity, that there are other stories, that there are other ways that we can evolve as a species? Or go and help the folks that are out there that are trying to change that story. Give them your resources, give them your assets, give them your creativity and help their stories travel further and faster. Or use them to challenge the broken status quo we've got, the political stuckness we have around why this stuff is so difficult to implement. Apply these amazing talents you have to shifting that story. If you're in finance or investment, why don't you spend Fridays figuring out how to get money, of which there's a lot of it out there, to flow out faster from toxic, polluting business and energy and industry into cleaner, regenerative, renewable sectors? If you're a lawyer, spend Fridays making ecocide a real thing, making it a law, build on the awesome Polly Higgins work, take it on, help accelerate it, make it a thing. Help with Client Earth, making it illegal to do crap things in the world, to do toxic stuff that destroys the natural world, that destroys life for the future. Put your skills in there. There's tons of things we could be doing. There's like so many ways that business organizations can respond. That's just a thought starter. There'll be tons of other things you could do. If you were in retail, like, why not like do something different on a Friday? Like if you're in food, take meat off the menu for the day. Offer up vegan or vegetarian just on a Friday and like encourage a conversation with your customers around it about why that's important. Encourage people to buy differently. Don't sell disposable crap on a Friday. That would be cool. Just shut those shelves down just for that day and see what happens. Promote something that encourages action on climate or connecting with community. Just do something that's got the planet in mind. If you're in education, flood your curriculum on a Friday with climate learning, with ecological learning, with building ecological intelligence, with community learning. Get out into the community. Take the classroom outside. Dedicate Friday to like a different way of learning. Rewild something. It could be a patch of garden. It could be an edgeland. It could be a park. It might be a stream, a pond, a beach, a bit of land on an industrial estate. Whatever it is, give it some love. Clean it up. Plant some trees. Help species recover, encourage insects and soil growth, discover this wider intelligence of the non-human world. That could be amazing. Grow some veg. Growing veg is possibly one of the most revolutionary things you can do today. And you don't need a lot to do it. It could be a windowsill. It could be a plant pot. It could be a little veg patch. It could be on a rooftop. It could be at work. It could be a community garden and a bit more ambitious. It could be building a community greenhouse space. Food is one of the biggest challenges we're going to face down the line. So the quicker we get started, the more abundance can occur. Here's one. Talk to someone you don't usually talk to. You know, like we sort of every day we sort of walk past people at work or in the street or at school, wherever we go, they're not like me. I don't talk to them. I just know they're not like me. Maybe try and make an effort on a Friday to connect with others. Talk to someone you don't usually talk to. Ask them how they are. Ask them what they make of the climate emergency. How do they feel about it? What do they think? What do they want to do? Have a cup of tea. That would be cool. Talk to someone you don't usually talk to. Make Friday a day of connection. Go outside. Take some time. Sit outside for 10 minutes. Notice nature. Listen to the non-human world. Jump in a river. Go for a walk. If you like running, run off-road. Hit a trail. hug a tree, listen to the birds, put your hands in the soil, walk barefoot on the grass, look up at the stars at night. Let's start to fall back in love with the natural world. Do it on a Friday. Why not? Whatever you decide to do, go public with it. Make it real. Tell everyone you're doing it. Become accountable to Fridays for the Future, right? You're committing to doing something. This is really, really important, because if we signal the intentions and we share the learnings, right? We take pictures, we write about it, we share stories. It becomes normal that Fridays are a day for working for our planet and all life that lives here. Use your social channels, put up posters, send memos, set up your out of office email if you've got one. You know, here's a couple that I've penned, okay? Thanks for your email. Sorry I'm not at my desk today. I'm working with my colleagues on the future of our planet. Back Monday, #FridaysForFuture. Sorry I'm not around today. I'm working with the insects to try and bring them back from extinction. #FridaysForFuture. Sorry I can't respond to your request today. I'm working with my most important client, the planet. #FridaysForFuture. Tell your customers, tell your suppliers, tell your friends, tell your neighbours. Share what you get up to on your social feeds if you use them. Let's make it normal. Finally, my hunch is that if we do some of this, if we step up and decide that Fridays for Future is for everyone, great things will happen. We're going to have a lot of, oh, we can't afford to do this, and how will we pay for this? But my sense is that type of chatter will quite quickly just disappear, because all this other amazing stuff will emerge from committing ourselves intentionally to stepping up and building on the Fridays for the Future idea and co-creating the change we want to see, right? We can't wait. We can't wait for this top-down power system to make it all happen. We need that stuff to change, and we'll continue to make that stuff change. But we can also co-create change ourselves just by showing up intentionally and making stuff happen. You don't need to know all the answers to start. We know enough. We know enough to get going. And through going and through starting, we are co-creating new knowledge, new learning, new ideas. It's going to be awesome. So if you're up for it, try it, right? Next Friday, Friday the 24th, commit to doing something and do it. Share it, #Fridays of the Future. Let's build on Greta's work and the work of thousands of amazing young people. Let's build on the Extinction Rebellion. We need new ideas, new ways to get involved, new flavours of change. That's really important. People are asking what they can do. This is simple. We don't need any new technology to do it. So just to recap, Fridays for Future for everyone. A simple idea. Let's start next Friday. It's a day for reimagining and redesigning the future we want. It's a day of planetary innovation for everyone. It can happen at work. It can happen at school. It can happen at home. It can happen in your community. It can happen in the pub. It can happen while you're shopping. It's a day for conversation, a day for imagination, a day for co-creation, a day to get going. And who knows what will happen if we build that day in. Do it in your way, do it however you want to do it. Share your story, commit to it, and make it happen, do it. It's down to all of us. We can't wait. We've got to get on with this. Let's do it.